Okay, to put the pages in the album, you're going to need one of your albums that you have made, and then all the bits and pieces you should have already cut according to your cutting guide. So you should have cut and scored already. Also, I went ahead and added tape just to make the process much faster. For this project, I've labeled the pieces that go on the front cover A, B, C, D, and the pieces that go in the album 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, to make it easier. For this particular album, each page we're going to create exactly the same way. So when you turn the page through this album, the process will be the same. So each one will have the same flaps, pockets, inserts, and at the back as well. But what we are going to do is just embellish them differently. I find that often just keeping the pages the same and changing the decoration is very effective, especially if you're giving it as a gift. It makes it easier for the person paging through, I think, to find all your little tuck spots and. All right, so here we go. So you are going to need for the front cover A, B, C, and D. All right, I have also mited all the corners just for the sake of speeding up the process. So basically, if I give you a little run through, this would have been a straight edge. You just take your scissors, cut from the score line to the cut line, and just miter them all in a little bit like that. Okay, to create the first pocket flap, you're going to need your piece labeled B, C, and D. B is what's going to be the base page, and you're going to work, the hinge is going to go on the inside. It's going to attach to the front page like that, and then we're going to need to attach the pocket, which we're going to attach this side with a flap on this side. All right, so you can, if you want to, round the edges of your flap. It's entirely up to you. I always leave that to make that decision when I start embellishing. Okay, so to create the pocket, right, so you want to make sure that the two short lines are at the bottom, the short sides, and that the longer side on the top. It's maybe not the best way. So I like to tuck these pieces in and this one down, so that when we slide something into your album, when you slide something into the pocket, it will slide in all the way. Whereas if you do it the other way around, so if you have this piece at the bottom and these two on the top, when you slide something in, it's going to catch on here. Okay, it'll catch on the little piece here on the inside there. So to make my pockets, I like to create them before I stick them. So I'm just going to move my tape backing a little bit on both these ones. So the two sides, and this one, the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to attach that one there and this one here. Okay, then just remove the tape backing from here as well, a little bit. I'll lift this one up. I know it's going to come off. All right, so I'm going to attach, remember, my hinge needs to be on the right. This is attached. I'm going to attach this flush against the side, the cut edge, and flush against the top, like that. And I can just pull my tape out. I did it the wrong way. There we go. Just want to, before I stick, make sure I've got that on properly. Okay, it's moved. A little bit of fiddling there. There we go. All right, move that down, and then we can remove the tape backing from this one, and we can remove the tape backing from this one. You don't want that to fall flat just yet. I want to make sure that that's flush against the top, and I want to make sure that it's flush against the bottom, and we can then just work that out. Okay, I haven't quite got it flush. There's an air bubble in here, so I know I haven't quite got it lined up the way it should be. Let's try again. There we go. That looks a bit better. There we go. We've got it on nicely. It's just me that thought I had it on strangely, but it is on correctly. Right, remember the little gusset, the hinge is going to be what joins to the page, so that goes like that. We're then going to attach the pocket flap flush against here. So again, I'm just going to remove the tape backing on the one piece, right? And then turn it, it's easier for me to work this way. I'm going to line the flap flush, line it up flush against that the edge of the paper, the backing sheet, like that. Just tuck it into place a little bit, hold that, remove the tape backing, double check that I have it in place. There we go, nice and straight. And we can just maneuver that in place, give it a good burnish. Right, so that creates that pocket. And again, like I say, I will leave the rounding of the corners for when I start embellishing, so that if there's, you know, if I want to change, so maybe I do want it straight, maybe I want it round. I think that always make those editing decisions when you start to embellish. All right. So now we need to attach these two pieces to the inside of the album. Okay, so my plan is to have the pocket one attached here and this little flap attached over here. So when you open the album, you're going to open to this way. You'll see the pocket first, so the pocket will open this way, and then the flap will open that way. All right, so we're going to attach that, I would say, about 1 centimeter away from the edge of the page. Let's get a pencil. So I would say we'd put it about 1 centimeter. It looks like good. And there. So that looks like it's straight. Remember, my construction tape is not on 100% straight. So I'm just making sure I've got my mark. I want to attach my page flush with my spine, with the page hinge. Okay, so I'm going to attach that there and there, and then that looks pretty straight. I also want to make sure that when I attach it, that it lines up there and there, like that. Perfect. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to pull the tape backing out like that. Get this in place, line it up top and bottom, slide it over to where the 1 centimeter mark begins. There. And I know it needs to go in over there like that. So I'm just going to hold that, remove the tape backing, tap it in place, not too much. I can still then remove it to if I have to, but it looks to me like I got it in pretty straight. I look at it like that, it looks straight. So I'm just going to burnish that in place, open that up, and burnish that in place. Happy with that. Give it a good burnish. We want to make sure that it sticks so it's not going to come out. Perfect. Now we need to add the pocket page. So remember, I want this one to open up this way. Okay, so I'm going to attach this flush against this line where the grey board is over here. It's going to go flush against there. I want to be sure that when I attach that it doesn't fall into that little groove, that it's just on that line. Okay. For safety's sake, we could even just attach it about 1 millimeter away from that line, from this groove here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to remove the tape backing a little bit. Okay, and this time I will turn it out. Last time I turned it in like that, that's why I couldn't get to it. So always turn it out so that you can kind of see it. Then it's easier to remove it. You don't have to go hunting for it like I did. Right, so I want to attach that so that it's flush with the top and the bottom, and that it is slightly away from that score line, or in this case the gusset. Double checking that I've got it straight, that it lines up top and bottom. I'm happy with that. And then just hold it in place, remove the tape backing, and pop it in place. There we go. Perfect. All right. Okay, so that's your front cover done. So we've got a flap that's going to open this way and close, and a pocket flap that's going to go in over here. Now we're going to begin putting together the pieces of each page. So I'm going to talk you through one, and then I'm going to put some music on to do the other pages, the other 2 pages, because it is exactly the same. So I've divided mine. Remember, we've cut from pieces from 1 to 9. I've divided mine into the 3 little piles because like I said to you, we are going to be repeating. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in one pile, in pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I'm just going to put them off to the side because it is a little bit easier. Okay. And then we are going to begin putting everything together. This one I think is easier to start to work from the bottom up. So you will need your piece, where have I written that? Your piece number 1, which is a belly band. If I explain to you the process, where we're going with it, it's going to make a lot more sense. The belly band is going to go in the middle like that. All right. Then your piece number 2 is what I would call a page. It's a page that's going to become a flap. So I know that this needs to be this way around. So this is going to attach to your belly band like that. Right, so we're going to attach those 2 pieces first. Let's get that going. Right, so the belly band measures 16 centimeters across, and we know that the page is 20. So I want mine to be centered. You do not have to do that. You could put it more to the left, more to the right. It's entirely up to you, as long as you're able to access it from this side, the belly band, because the inserts that we put in will be going in from this side. All right, so 20 minus 16 is 4, divided by 2 gives me 2. So I'm going to attach this 2 centimeters from the left of the page. I'm just making a little mark so that I can get it, my belly band, in nice and straight. Okay. I'm then going to remove the tape backing just of one side. I won't do both. Right, I want to line it up so that it lines up with a 2 centimeter mark, and that it is flush against the bottom of the page like that. All right, so if you are struggling a bit, do I have a piece of white paper? I normally slide a piece of paper in, like a white piece of paper, but we'll just use this other color just so that you can see where the, because it is dark. Put it down too soon. Let's lift that. Right, so then I can see where my page is, and I can line that up nicely like that, while still lining up with my 2 centimeter marks over there. All right, so that's works nicely like that. Turn this around. and we can attach to the top. Right, I'm going to remove my tape backing. I'm going to do the same thing. I want to line it up with the top of the page. It's going to be easier to see on the light side. There we go. I have my 2 centimeters. Oops, a little bit over to the left, or the right in this case. And stick that flush against the top, like that. Perfect. There we go. All right, so we have that now. We can burnish that into place. Other side, we just want to burnish that into place. Alright, so now you want to attach your flap. So you can edit this a little bit if you wanted to. So these are the kind of things you could make changes. I want mine to be exactly the same height and width as my belly band, because I'm going to add a little tab on to be able to open and close it with over here. But you can edit, you can make this shorter, you can make it narrower, it's entirely up to you. So again, remove the tape backing. So I would suggest you do one exactly the same way I do, and if you don't want all your pages to be the same, then you can start to do the editing as you go along. So when you put this one in, you want to make sure that you get it just slightly away from that score line. You remember, you don't want to go over the score line or be too far away from the score line, otherwise it's going to go skew. But that looks like it's going to work. Fold it over and then just give that a good burnish. Alright, so that is your inside page done. So you've got a flap and a belly band. Now we want to add on the page itself, we want to get to the piece that is numbered number 3. I want this one to go over here. So here's your gusset. Here's where your page begins. I want that to be against the page, not on the belly band. So if I slide a piece of pattern paper in here, it's going to be easier to see. So there is where my gusset is. There's where my page begins, and that is where I'm going to put my first flap. Again, you can choose if you wanted to go to the top, to the bottom, or to the middle. I'm going to kind of keep it to the middle. I like that. So again, this is 16 centimeters and this is 25. I think if we put it 5 centimeters from the top, and then we'll have the almost 4 centimeters at the bottom, or you could do 4.5 from the top, 4.5 from the bottom. So there's that. All right. If you wanted to, you could have it go down a little bit. You could have it there, or you could have it more to the top. Right, so I think I would want to do mine, if we do dead center, then we would do the 4.5. But I'm thinking that maybe we do it 4 centimeters from the top, so we have a little bit more sticking out the bottom. Then that breaks away from being exactly in the middle, just gives a little bit of interest. I think if we do it slightly off. Normally I would just go to center everything. Let's do this 4 centimeters from the top. Going to remove the tape backing and attach this flap slightly away from that score line, like that, because remember, you don't want it to interfere with the turning of the page. That works perfectly like that. All right, I like it. I think it looks good like that, with a little bit more space at the bottom and than at the top. Right, so I didn't bring my paper clips, but normally I would just paper clip this together, then it won't be all flapping in the wind. Right, so I want to add another flap this side, so you're going to need your piece that's numbered 4. Right, and I want this one to be on the belly band, no, not on the belly band, on the page, like that. We already have something on the belly band, so I want to put this one on like that, so it's going to attach to the page itself. So you can choose if you wanted to attach to the front of the page or if you wanted to attach to the back of the page. I'm going to have it attaching to the front, this piece to stick here rather than on the other side, because I know that I want to put a pocket on the other side. Right, so it's also going to line up to the edge of the first page. I'm going to put this under the two just so you can see, and we're going to line it up there. So here again, you can choose. You can have it dead center. You can have it more to the top or more to the bottom. Right, I think because this one we've done more to the top, it's going to look quite nice if we do this one more to the bottom. Or, yeah, we could even do it, you could even do it that this is in line if you wanted to, like that this falls perfectly in line. It's entirely up to you, but I think that I like this staggered look, so I think I want to have it about 1 centimeter to the top like that, which is then approximately 3 centimeters from the top of the page. Let's turn it around and see. Yes. So I'm going to attach that one 3 centimeters from the top of the base page. I'm going to remove the tape backing. And attach this flush against the cut edge like that. All right. You can then just burnish that in place. Open it up and give it another burnish. There we go. Right, so that's all looks really good. I think we're going to have the little one on top of the big one. That works for me. But now everything's kind of flapping in the wind. And here I think we need to add something to keep this closed so that it all stays here. And that's where we're going to add the little piece that is, what should be number 5, I think. I don't have a number on there. Oh, there it is, number 5. It's covered up in the tape. So the number 5, just going to rub it out. You need your piece number 5, and we are going to use this to create a pocket. See, I haven't cut the corners, so I can show you how to do that. So what I like to do is just cut this little square piece out, like that. Where my other scissors are, the sharp ones. Try and make sure that you cut it apart, and that when it sticks like it is now, that you don't pull on it too much, that you actually just try and get a cut edge instead of a pulled edge. See, I did pull it a bit there. We're going to cut it here and cut it here like that. And then again, I'm just going to work from this score line away to create a tiny little angled edge from your score line away, and again from the other side like that. So the dogs are sneezing and one starts and then they all have to sneeze. Alright, so now we're going to attach this pocket to the front of this flap. Okay, you slide the paper in underneath so that it's easier to see, like that. Right, so remember the two, so in this case the two shorter sides are going to be at the bottom and then the one is going to be at the top. Again, so that everything can just slide in and out easier. The little piece of tape is so small, I'm just going to remove it all together. The pocket is small enough, I think, to manage as a whole. We can just remove all the tape. And I'm going to take the tape, all the tape backing off, and then just work with it as a whole. It is small enough. It's manageable. So I want to attach this piece flush against the side, flush against the bottom, flush against the other side. It's a very shallow little pocket. And it's just going to work to create a space to be able to put a page closure in. You'll see now. All right. So you should have cut a piece out. Let me find it. And you should have scored and closed it up. Oh, here it is. Sorry, it's right on top. So this is your piece number 6, right? So this, to close this up now, so we have our belly band, right? I'll give you, we'll put the insert in now. We have the belly band, we have a flap, we have a flap this way, we have a flap that way, and we're going to slide this insert in here to keep everything together and closed like that. Right, so that's going to look nice like that. If I might add a magnet to this to keep it closed, we'll see. I kind of like the idea that when you open the album, that this creates a page that you have to page instead of being stuck down like that. I kind of like the way that this works, and then we can open up here to have some more embellishing. All right, so that's the front done. At the back, all we're going to do at the back of this page is just add in a pocket. That's it, a pocket with an insert, nothing too fancy. You're going to need the piece that is numbered number 8. It's going to create your pocket. It's quite a deep pocket. So we're going to just, remember, remove the tape backing on the two sides. So the two opposite sides, and then just close up the pocket like that. Right, you want to make sure that the pieces of tape that you're going to remove are on the outside, and then we're going to remove the tape backing from the bottom one also, just a little bit, just so that we have space to work with. All right. I'm going to attach this one flush against my gusset, so about 1 millimeter away from that score line. Let's just get that in there. Askew. I'm just going to tack that in place there. Hold it in here, make sure that I've got it flush against the top, flush against the bottom. Slide this in so I can see what I'm doing. Alright. That looks about right. I'm going to remove that tape backing and just gently put that in place. I want to do the same here. I lost it. Just want to line that up slightly away from that score line, like that, and then my tape backing, I did have the little piece sticking out, and just flush against the page over here like that. Perfect. All right, so we just want to burnish that in place. Just like that. Right, and then the insert for this one, I think is labeled or numbered number 9. So it's quite a deep insert, right? And you will need the piece that's labeled number 9. This is going to slide inside here like that. And flap over like that. All right, so you can then have it right. So it looks like the flap for the pocket, but actually flaps and then is able to be removed like that. So there you go. I'm going to repeat exactly what I've done on this one. I'm going to repeat on page 2 and page 3. The front and the back are going to be exactly the same. I'm going to put some music on, finish adding my page flaps and flips to my page, and then I'll be back so that we can embellish the album together. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Right, so there you go. That's everything in place. The one thing I forgot to tell you to add in was the insert that goes behind the belly band. I think that's labeled number 7. It goes in, it's going to go in over here. It'll slide in better once you've got your pattern paper in place. It'll slide in and out a little bit better. Okay, and then that closes up over here. So each one has one of them. The one thing you also need to remember is that just to make allowance for the little pocket with this one, don't, when you are doing your sizing, I forgot to tell you, just bear this in mind. It will impact how you add the closure. So you can still offset them or put them straight in line. You just want to make sure that you're able to put your page into this pocket over here. All right. And then the next one, the last one, we'll take out the closure, open, open, and slide in number 7, which is the insert. So you can easily add more inserts to this belly band. You don't have to just stick with the one. Like I say, I suggest we wait and see how full the album is before you add anything extra, any extra flaps or inserts and things like that. All right. I think that these are going to shift a little bit in the page, so we might be putting a little magnet in place to keep it here. Or maybe once we've got paper on, it'll be heavier and it'll stay in place. But it does look like it wants to shift a bit, although not really. Seems to be staying in place quite nicely, but we'll see as we go. Okay, so that is the album for done and ready to be embellished. You can see how nice it looks on the top. I like the way that looks. Okay, I haven't done anything in the back yet. We can always add an extra pocket, top loading pocket or side loading pocket as we go. We'll just see where we go, how we get through this album. Right, so I'm going to clean up my space and we'll be back to embellish. I'll see you in a bit.